conference men's soccer match featuring the visiting Generals of Washington and Lee University and your Lynchburg Academics. Ladies and gentlemen, today marks a special day for the Lynchburg men's soccer program as we celebrate the senior class of 2021. This senior class played a part in the Hornets' 2017 Old Dominion Athletic Conference Championship run and has amassed a career record of 45 wins, 11 losses, and 11 draws over 4 seasons. Let's meet the Lynchburg men's soccer class of 2021. Number 16, Nick Foley, escorted by his peers, a defender from Bassett, Virginia. Nick has accrued a goal and an assist in his career. He is the winner of the Mahan Osborne Outstanding Senior in Biology Award and a member of multiple honor societies. A Westover Honors and Kingsley Scholar, Nick will graduate with a degree in biology. Ladies and gentlemen, Nick Foley. Number 1, Kyle Gallagher, escorted by his parents, Sam and Ryan, and his siblings, Alex and Caitlin. A goalkeeper from Haymarket, Virginia, Kyle is a 2-year starter for 3 to 5 and has career goals against average of 1 even. He has been named ODAC Player of the Week and is a member of the Delta Sigma Pi Business Fraternity. A Westover Honors and Dean's List Scholar, Kyle will graduate with a degree in accounting. Ladies and gentlemen, Kyle Gallagher. Number 19, Bailey Kearns, escorted by his mother, Lori. A native of Broad Run, Virginia, Bailey has filled a variety of roles on the field for the Hornets during his career. He was the 2017 ODAC Rookie of the Year and has been named All-Conference in each of his first 3 seasons. He has 3 goals and 1 assist in his career. Bailey will graduate with a degree in criminology. Ladies and gentlemen, Bailey Kearns. Number 10, Ben Mackey. Escorted by his parents, Sheila and Jim, and his siblings, John and Olivia. A midfielder from Lynchburg, Virginia, Ben is a 3-time All-ODAC and 2-time All-Region selection. He has 15 goals and 7 assists on his career. Ben will graduate with a degree in Business Administration and Sport Management. Ladies and gentlemen, Ben Mackey. Number 23, Carter Saden. Escorted by his parents, Kara and Eve. A forward from Raleigh, North Carolina, Carter has spent 4 years with the program and 3 as a student assistant with the men's basketball team. He will graduate with a degree in sport management. Ladies and gentlemen, Carter Saden. Let's go, Carter! Student assistant Bergen Campbell, escorted by his parents, Cindy and Ted, and his older brother, Ian. A native of Woodbridge, Virginia, Bergen joined the program as a freshman and transitioned to a student assistant role in his junior season. A Westover Honors and Dean's List Scholar, Bergen will graduate with a degree in mathematics with minors in environmental science and statistics. Ladies and gentlemen, Bergen Campbell. Let's have another round of applause for the Lynchburg men's soccer class of 2021.
My name is Brittany Coleman. I graduated in 2014 and I have a major in chemistry and a minor in secondary education, and I'm currently teaching chemistry and 7th grade science at a local combined school. Being able to have access to your professors pretty much anytime they're in their office is really helpful, especially in difficult science subjects. I love that I am able to teach a difficult subject to students who typically aren't going to perceive it as enjoyable. I'm able to present it in an interesting way because I was presented this information in an interesting way. It's nice for me to be able to mirror what it was that influenced me to be able to teach.
Welcome to Schellenberger Field, where today we have ourselves another great matchup of soccer featuring the Generals of Washington and Lee and the Hornets of University of Lynchburg looking for their first win against WNL since the 2017 ODAC tournament. Hello friends and fans, I'm Joe Hutzler riding solo with you today as I narrate the journey we've got together over the next few hours from the University of Lynchburg, and looking very much forward to this matchup as we have pretty much all week since we realized it was on the calendar at the end of the week. It's going to be a very fun show for us to tune into today. Let's grab a look at our coaches for today's contest, and we start with Michael Singleton. And over there beyond the team, you can see Mr. Singleton in his 7th season, just 7 wins shy of 100 career victories as the head coach of Washington and Lee, with 3 ODAC titles and 3 Coaches of the Year honors as well within the ODAC. On the other side, Coach Yeager, he's been here a little bit longer than that, 7 seasons, 19 years for Coach Yeager, who is not on your screen. We apologize for that. 208 wins. He's the 2nd coach in program history with 200 or more victories in his time to go along with those 6 ODAC titles and 6 NCAA appearances. We'll step aside, come back, tell you about starters and the players to watch for this one on LHSN.
I was looking for a school that could provide me with the athletics, academics to pursue my career, a wind symphony to pursue my passion for music, and really have a nice general atmosphere. The professors here are really unique, their background and their passion for teaching. It's really a place where you can explore. Lynchburg gives you the opportunity to fail, but also get back up in that period of time and learn from your mistakes. I can make these mistakes within the school environment, but also with the support of other friends, and be ready for the real world when you graduate.
Lynchburg really stood out for me just because of the way it treated its students. They really do make an effort here, and I've learned that over my 4 years is that they actually do try to listen to what the student body wants, and they try to act on that. They don't really just give you a piece of paper here to then go off and do your own thing. They actually prepare you to work with different populations, which is what the world is all about. It's just working with people that are different than you. They genuinely care that everyone has the ability to go off into the world and make a difference with whatever they like. For me, that's just being basically in a room with someone helping them achieve their first goal of, doing a pull-up. I actually do believe they want you to do the best you can to change someone's life for the better. You can be anyone here, which I think is really cool. But regardless of who you are here, they will make sure you don't fall through the cracks, which is awesome. I have realized that I've never felt lost here. I will not regret ever coming here, that's for sure. So I'm very glad that I came here. Yeah, it's actually pretty awesome.
The biggest thing that I've taken from Westover is probably my interactions with faculty. I started working with Dr. Fryer. He's always available for help, and he makes sure that I get to do the experiments and not just be there while he does them. I didn't want to limit myself when I came here to just taking the prereqs for med school. I wanted to get a full, well-rounded education, and I definitely found that in the Westover program. It's given me the opportunity to keep playing soccer at a competitive level. but also it's given me the ability to be a student and to pursue other activities such as EMS. "100% do Westover because it's not something they're going to regret, and it's going to be a lot of work, but so is everything else. It's just going to help build their education that they've already had and make them a better person for it."
Time now to take a look at our players to watch today, and for that we're going to start with John Peterson. So far in 2021, 2 goals with an assist on 6 shots on goal this season, and more importantly recently having a very good afternoon against EMU when he went for 2 goals and an assist in that one. And so he will be someone to watch for Washington and Lee. And then Ben Mackey, one of the 5 seniors being honored today for Lynchburg. 4 goals this season on just 7 shots on goal. He's got 20 total shots this year and 4 goals and 1 assist. So he's a sharpshooter and someone that's important to balance out the likes of Luke Mega, who certainly will create a lot of attention, and it gives Ben Mackey a chance to also have a good day for Lynchburg. Let's look at these 2 teams by the numbers on the season so far. Lynchburg with 4 more goals than WNL. Sorry, I'm getting drowned out by the new sound system here that has to be heard all over campus for some reason. 2.5 goals per game from Lynchburg, a little more than that for WNL as well. So very even overall from the stats perspective, and pretty even related to recent years of this matchup. Looking back since that 2017 win for Lynchburg, 2 losses, 2 ties. In fact, 2 of the last 3 matchups have ended in a tie for these squads. We hope that's not the case today. We anticipate a great match and one that is important for the ODAC standings as we edge closer to the end of the season. In fact, the quarterfinals start on Tuesday. This is the last day of the regular season, believe it or not. Next weekend, there will be a champion of the 2021 campaign. I'm not sure if it should be 2020, even though it's played at 2021. I feel like it should be a 2020 champion, but nevertheless, I digress. Hampton-Sydney is leading the ODAC, by the way, 7-0 in conference play. WNL is second at 4-0-1. Lynchburg third at 5-1-1. So a win here for Lynchburg puts them in a pretty good position to, in the best position to finish second and be one of the 4 hosting on Tuesday in that quarterfinal round. 8 teams make it to the conference tournament. The top 4 seeds would host the quarters, and then of course at that point it becomes highest remaining seeds through the semis and the finals as far as hosting duties are concerned. Let's take a look at your starting 11 for both teams. And for Lynchburg, you've got Kyle Gallagher, the senior from Haymarket, Virginia, in goal. Seth Dale is out there on the defense along with Griffin Phillips. Luke Mega playing up front, Ben Mackey in the midfield, Nick Foley playing on the back line, Bailey Kearns, Monzi Shalita, Carter Averett, Carter Saden getting his first start on senior day, and Joey Daly also on the pitch to start for the Hornets, who come in today 5-2-1 on the year. Washington and Lee 5-0-1. They have Michael Nick in the in between the pipes, the junior goalkeeper from Killdeer, Illinois. Jack Rollins is out there with Tyler Smith, Harris Salem, Michael Kutzenzera, Eric Recke, Seth Chapman, Samuel Bass, John Peterson, Charlie Colby, and Adrian Zimmerman, the freshman from San Diego, California, starting for the Generals. Fairly busy day here on the campus of University of Lynchburg with 2 baseball games commencing down at Fox Field and the nightcap featuring Washington and Lee and Lynchburg men's lacrosse, who played last night. The Generals defeating number 3 Lynchburg 12-10. As a run comes here for the Generals, and the shot is missed wide right by Michael Kutzenzera. And it will be a corner. Generals, their 45th of the year. In-swinger looking but not finding the intended target, which was Jack Rollins. And for good reason, standing at 6'2". It's a good tall target. Seth Dale with the lob, looking for Saden. Rollins bunts it away like a goat on the hill. Mega one touch ahead for Mackey. Ben Mackey with a good pass here. Offside flag was up. So the Generals will have a free kick from there. And it's going to be Mr. Nick. 7th start this year for the junior. Just 3 goals against, 11 saves. Wearing black today, wearing the bright blue at home, changing up his kit. As Kearns takes it from Dale, sent right back. Kearns battling with Colby along the near touch line. And the possession favors the visitors on this one. You can hear the chat trying to get everybody involved and in their right positions as each team feels out the other. First time since 2019, that was the ODAC final. Lynchburg played Washington and Lee at Hampton-Sydney after the Hornets upset the host school in a shootout. It was a 1-0 win for the Generals that day. And so far they've had the best pressure to make it a 1-0 game here, as that one's going to chip high and wide. And I believe there was that's a whistle for a corner. Nothing egregious about that moment. So second corner kick of this first half for Washington and Lee. You've got John Peterson and Charlie Colby over there. Actually, I think that's 22, Samuel Bass. Sophomore from Charlotte, North Carolina, standing there with Colby. And Colby will use the left foot to send it inside. Gallagher punches it away. And then Salem watches it roll across the touch line. It'll be a throw in from there. The Generals so far have had much better pushes in terms of efficiency. The passes have been on point. They've kind of surgically moved through the defense. Lynchburg's 1 or 2 chances have been one and done, just big balls kicked ahead, hoping for a good chance to open up. Definitely not. Good tackle from Bailey Kearns. Carter Staden will scoop it up and send it over to Mega, but behind the sprinting number 7. Frustration coming from Mega, but Lynchburg has to continue the pressure here. Best they've had in the early parts of this. Daly keeps it low. Averett is here, and scooping it up is Nick. Two really good chances for the Hornets after dealing with the Generals a few times on the other end. Almost 10 minutes gone by, and 2 shots registered for Washington and Lee. None yet for the Hornets, and none of the 2 shots already taken have been on target yet. The Generals team that has an impressive 41% shots on goal percentage. Lynchburg at 45%. As Mega looking to break away from Rollins. But Jack Rollins, who's been a mainstay for this Generals team since coming in as a freshman, with a very smart play, smooth, under control. And now Mackey can't get it past Rollins either. Seth Dale sprints in and keeps it here as Averett scoops it through. Mackey again just wanting to go hard near the box. But once again, it's a Generals midfielder in the way, this time Tyler Smith. Long ball intended for Salem. It's going to be a Lynchburg throw by Seth Dale. Foley thought about it. Better yet, he waited on it. And that ball eventually found him after making contact with Zimmerman. Tussle here in the corner. Foley overlapping, becoming an offensive player, doing what he could to find an angle for a cross. But Lynchburg will still take this deep throw from here. Haven't seen many Lynchburg players able to toss it in almost like a corner kick from this position too much this year. Bailey Kearns is going to do his best to make it a glorified corner kick. Back to the mid part of the track. Long overhead toss. Shalita's here. It lands safely and bounces to the other side of the box for Mega to pick up. It's amazing, all those bodies inside that small area. No one makes contact with it as it comes down. Meanwhile, Salem pressuring Seth Dale. Dale goes down, and a foul is called on 11 in blue. Free kick coming from Joey Daly. That left foot sends it inside and off the head of Colby. Once again, Lynchburg will get ready to toss it in from the sideline. Long toss. And over everyone's head, Rollins was there to butt it away. Shalita puts one on that Nick scoops up. How about Nick Foley on senior day thinking about a bicycle kick? Should not be the last game on Schellenberger Field, but it is the last regular season game. Of course, all the seniors, really everyone, has an extra year of eligibility, but these seniors have the opportunity if they want to, and if they are enrolled in a program, to come back in the fall and play for another season if they choose to do so. I have not been privy to that information related to those 5 seniors as to whether or not they will come back. It's not as easy of a decision as it might seem from people on the outside like us, as Daly gets to the corner and glances it off of a Generals player. And Nick, did he hold it in? And near side AR says no, it's a corner. And Lynchburg will make their first change. Carter Saden in his first start plays almost 15 minutes and will step out as Kenny Robles, the traditional starter in this group, heads back in, or heads in for the first time, I should say. Lynchburg's first corner kick of the afternoon. They have 54 coming into this game. And it's Ben Mackey swinging it inside. Robles just got that one over the outstretched foot of Peterson. Meanwhile, Catanzaro plays great defense and forces a tough one here, one-on-one. Seth Dale now breaking away. Adrian Zimmerman back to Dale. Zimmerman shoots and scores! How about that counter from the Generals? Adrian Zimmerman, the freshman out of San Diego, California. Cool breeze blowing through his hair, and a goal up on the scoreboard for Washington and Lee.
Goal scored by number 36.
Second goal of his freshman campaign. Adrian Zimmerman just one-on-one, using that extra size on Seth Dale and breaking the ice to make it 1-0. 30:23 to go in the first half. Just the third shot of the half, first one on goal. And Zimmerman makes it count for the Generals. And for me, I got to go back to the effort from Michael Catanzaro. The sophomore making a great play to steal it away and then send it deep. Recognizing, or maybe just assuming, there'd be a one-on-one play to be made. And then from that point on, it was all Zimmerman to work around Seth Dale. Ball played to the outside, now crossing it back towards the box, and it deflects near Gallagher, who can dive on it and hold on. Samuel Bass. Inside is Zimmerman, who'll put another one on, and Gallagher holds tight to the pole and keeps from being a rebound opportunity. Quick look at the Lynchburg Sports scoreboard. Roanoke on top of Lynchburg women's soccer in the second half, 2-0. Right now, Ferrum leads Lynchburg on Fox Field in that baseball game, 6-5. And number 24, Lynchburg women's lacrosse leads Bridgewater 6-0 in the first half. Here it's 1-0 thanks to Adrian Zimmerman. How about another for the Generals? The wind blew my paper on the floor, so I had to pick it up, and I missed the lead up to that, but could not help but recognize the celebration from the visitors. Watch it again. Tossed in from Colby and gets its way to Zimmerman, bikes it back, and Salem, one-timer from about 8 yards away, connects to make it 2-0 here in the first half. And for Harris Salem, that's goal number 3. He now leads the Generals in that category on the season. The unanswered goals streak continues for this Lynchburg team. The last time they scored a goal against the Generals was October of 2018. Scoreless tie in 2019, followed by, actually played the Generals 3 times that year. September was a scoreless tie, then a 4-0 loss in Lexington on October 16th, followed by that 1-0 loss in the ODAC Championship in the fall of 2019. The one really unfortunate thing from what we can see so far is that, you know, it's not like Lynchburg has had a bunch of chances and they haven't been able to capitalize. They've had 2 or 3 really good ones, and certainly no real good chances came of those, but the Generals are still pounding the box and putting great balls in play, making it really tough to think about this 2-0 deficit being overcome. But time is on the Hornets' side, still very early in the first half. 20 minutes, not quite, has gone by, but they have only registered 1 shot to the Generals' 5. Gallagher has yet to make a save here on senior day. Will get attested again, I'm sure, as the Generals are called for the foul for the 3rd time. Monzi Shalita, the freshman, dispossessed by Tyler Smith, and then Shalita's called for the foul. And the official wants to stop the clock to give another warning to Shalita. This would be his 2nd. That's what the official is explaining to him right now. This is the 2nd or 3rd time that you've done something like this in retaliation. You see, didn't like being the ball being taken away from him, and some of that freshman fire that you have trying to prove yourself and just being inexperienced, living in the moment, not thinking about the big picture could be a problem, especially if it happens again. You have to imagine there could be a card situation coming from that. Something certainly that Lynchburg cannot afford to do is get too much in their heads and start to overdo it and trying to win or come back down 2-0 within 1 play. It's just not going to work that way. This looks a lot better as Mackey looked for the sprinting Shalita, but Generals, as they've done most of this first half, are just in those passing lanes. They know where it's going. As this one's played back, looking for Mega. The first time you saw Recky get in the way of a ball. That time it was Bass. They're the right passes to be made. Kearns, and that's caught by Nick. No real pressure from that long throw.
Entering the game for the Generals, number 9, Harry Pinkerton.
Harry Pinkerton, senior from Sewanee, Georgia, is entering for the first time today. Pinkerton is coming in on his 6th game played, 2 goals this season, and 5 games played. As that one sails high from Kutzenzera. The Generals with a 5-0-1 season, that one tie coming at Roanoke, the first match of the year. It's a 1-1 score that day, but since then, 2-0 at Guilford, followed by 4 consecutive home matches, 4-1, 5-2, and most recently outscoring Eastern Mennonite and Randolph by a combined score of 4-0. So right now, outscoring their opponents 6-0 through almost 4.5 games. Kearns and Smith came together there. Kearns is reeling from it a little bit, but seems to be okay at the moment as Smith has his pass denied by Robles. Outside here with Mega, working one-on-one with Chapman. Gives it back to Mackey. Mackey chipping it to the corner for Mega to pick up here. Looking for that angle to cross. Of course, knowing Mega, he might just take it himself. Playing it back from Mackey, just got enough of a touch to get it to Dale. And that slow roller easily kicked away by Colby. Phillips sends it deep for Robles. Ricky got a piece, so it'll be a throw in from there for Lynchburg. Getting outshot 7-1. And unfortunately for them, just too many possessions as it was a moment ago, where they have most of their team in good offensive position where they need to be, but not able to connect on those passes, whereas the Generals, theirs have been a lot more efficient when they get inside their offensive third. Shalita back to his left foot. Here's Kearns, double teamed. Shalita outside the 18, looking for some help. Connects with Robles. And they'll start from here. Kearns, one touch, going back outside to Robles. Sends it near the 18, and Mackey's shot deflecting off the foot of Jack Rollins, who once again is in the way of a potential scoring chance.
Leave it.
Coach Singleton and the Generals making another change to the lineup.
Now in the match for the Generals, number 30, Grant McCarty.
Grant McCarty, freshman from Dallas, Texas, checking in for the first time today. Fifth game played for the freshman out of the Lone Star State. Comes in with his teammates jumping out to a 2-0 lead as Phillips struggles to get away from Zimmerman, and then Phillips is called for the foul on the tackle attempt on the aforementioned McCarty. This will be a free kick for the Generals, just as they did previously. They've got a wall in front of the ball. Kutzenzera set it up, and looks like Zimmerman will be the man in charge of taking the kick, trying to pierce the armor of that wall from Lynchburg. It's going to be Kutzenzera instead, and he takes it near 90, and then Gallagher losing it on the save chance. So it becomes a corner kick in the end for the Generals. Gallagher making the stop, but not holding it on this side of the end line. Third corner kick of the half for Washington and Lee. Cutzenzera will boot it inside. And that time Gallagher very sure-handed with the catch. Under 20 minutes to play in the first half. Recchi flying in, slams on the brakes around the corner of the 18. And they'll switch sides of the field. Rollins trying to keep it in. And then it's Gallagher getting down and dirty to hold that one. Coach Yeager looking on, hoping for a different result. His team's no wins, 2 losses, 2 ties since their last win over Washington and Lee in the 2017 ODAC tournament. That was a 2-1 victory that day here on this field.
Entering the match for Washington and Lee.
A change for the Generals. Looks like Hayden Beering, defenseman from Denton, Texas, has stepped in, and Salem will check out. As you look at Charlie Colby and Austin Fisher, the ball boy today. Colby with the toss, finds its way to Mega's feet. Carter Averett, outside, Robles. Shalita gives chase, pushes it forward for Mega, and Recchi pokes it away. Keeping up with it on a dead sprint, but too far ahead.
Get your feet up, 9.
That was Harry Pinkerton on the sprint. Touch was too strong, though, for even himself. And a foul against Lynchburg. Once again, McCarty involved. Keeping it low, looking for Zimmerman. Robles plays good defense. Now it's back in the clutches of the Generals. Zimmerman had the opening goal as this one's sent inside. Foley kicks it away. Mackey turns right into good defense from Tyler Smith again. Dale. Nowhere to go with it in the middle. Played back to Foley instead. Here's Mega on the break. As the crowd stands up looking for magic here, it's Nick. And then Shalita sends it high. Michael Nick with the save. His first of the day in a big moment with plenty of time left in the first half. If Mecca can score there, it certainly can change the complexion of the match as we head toward halftime. And more changes are made. You see Pat Bakunis on your screen. Also, Brendan Lagana stepped in for the Hornets, who haven't made too many substitutions. In fact, before those two, it was just Robles coming in for Carter Saden. That was way back about 20 minutes ago. Foley with just a standing kick that goes out of play. Coach Yeager wasn't being animated, but just kind of giving a stare down back near Foley. I'm sure no words needed to be stated after that. Good fight here at the midfield line. It's Phillips. And his pass immediately knocked away by the incoming Beering. Beering all over it here, working on two different Hornets, and now it breaks away for Kutsinzera. Tyler Smith plays it outside for Beering, breaks away from his man. Crosses one, finds Zimmerman. One hop to his left foot, shot and misses left. A gorgeous opportunity for his second and the Generals' third in the first half. And Zimmerman just off the mark. Look at it again, a beautiful cross, that one touch to himself. Zimmerman doing all he can to get to his left foot. Just not acquiring the accuracy needed. As Kutsinzera with a beautiful heel pass does connect. And once again, McCarty is down. That right there reminded me of a scene in the Escape to Victory movie. If you haven't seen it, worth checking out, especially if you're a soccer fan, where they continually practice being tripped up from behind and learning how to fall appropriately. Sadly, I did not see the rest of the movie after their halftime attempt to escape the Nazi occupation that they were under. They had the chance to escape. Sylvester Stallone was ready to go. But instead, Colin Firth said, "We have to finish out this soccer game. We can win even with a man down." They had only 10 men. It was a very 80s style movie, but fun nonetheless. Kutsinzera had that pass sent back by the head of Foley, but still pressure coming from the Generals. It's McCarty. Finds its way through and then knocked away by Daly, playing goalie for a moment. All the bounces going the way of the Generals. Grant McCarty. Bad news for the rest of the conference with these freshmen from Washington and Lee doing so well. Adrian Zimmerman with a goal today. McCarty, one of those freshmen, doing fantastic. Hayden Beering also out there for the Generals. As you see, Kutsinzera backing up and ready for this corner. And it goes out of play, too strong from 14 in blue. Check this out again. McCarty between one leg, and then Dale's attempt to kick it away goes right back to McCarty and still gets a chance in the end. Nice tackle from Smith. And then Beering is tackled by Mackey. And the official warning Mackey and giving Ben Mackey a card. Yellow card for the first time today, makes an appearance. And it's going to go against the senior, Ben Mackey. For Lynchburg, it is their 11th yellow card of the season. It's another free kick for the Generals. The 8th foul called against Lynchburg as this finds its way through. A beauty that came off the foot of Charlie Colby, and then Mr. Smith, Tyler Smith himself, being rewarded for his excellent midfield and defensive play, scoring to make it 3-0 WNL. Second goal of the season for Tyler Smith. All alone, no one shading his way, getting in the front of that pass, or even getting in front of the man. And the Generals well in control with 8.5 minutes remaining in the first half. Harry Behringer and Connor Wharton have checked in for the Generals. Also, Saeed Usman has stepped onto the field for Lynchburg. Lots of things needing to be changed here for Lynchburg. They've got to do a more consistent job of getting shots inside that box, force the pressure to be put on the Generals. Unfortunately, the Hornets have been playing on the back foot for the majority of this half.
Ten. Follow 11, hit it. Follow 11. Brennan over. Again, Brennan, again.
Good chatter picked up by the mic there near midfield on that throw. Somehow that ball fooled 3 soccer players on a simple bounce through. Michael Nick, who has not been tested much today, just 1 save on 1 shot faced. Only 3 total shots in general for Lynchburg. Washington and Lee with 11 total shots. 5 of those have been on target, so 2 saves for Gallagher. And 3 goals for the Generals, scored by 3 different players. Most recently, it was Tyler Smith. Adrian Zimmerman had the opening goal. And Harris Salem, who's no longer on the field after being subbed in for a few moments ago, had the second goal of the afternoon. As you saw another look at Saeed Usman's foul. That is 9 fouls for Lynchburg to just 2 by the Generals. So Washington and Lee out shooting Lynchburg and also playing cleaner than the Hornets. And once again, they set up this really interesting free kick, not knowing who's taking it. They all break away, and it's going to be sent low and well wide off the left foot of Connor Wharton. Wharton finds his way in, and Lynchburg calling for a handball. That does seem to be the case, so it'll be Gallagher booting it away. But once again, the Generals taking their time to get to a good crossing point and more importantly, connecting on those crossers. That time it was low. Behringer got it to his feet, but could not cleanly get a shot off. Under 5 minutes to play in the first half. The Hornets would love nothing more than to just get one here. Needing two in the second half. Certainly would feel better about your chances if that was the task at hand. But 3 goals to come back from, especially considering how this first half has played out and the way things have looked. There's a large amount of doubt that the Hornets can pull that off, as Averett slams into one, now 2, and scores just as they needed it. Carter Averett delivers. The sophomore out of Midlothian, Virginia, following his shot. The first one bouncing right back to him. The second connecting for his second goal of his sophomore campaign. Look at it again. The rebound, the putback, and a 3-1 game with 4:15 to go in the first half. For Averett, that's just his 4th shot of the season. It's his 3rd shot on goal, and 2 goals to show for it. Pretty accurate for the second-year midfielder. More importantly, as I mentioned, just seconds before that goal took place, extremely important for the Hornets to get one. Make that deficit a little bit smaller for the second 45 minutes. And of course, there's still 3 minutes left here. There's still time to create a 1-goal deficit. But the odds are that this will be how the first half ends. So crucial to get that one, and really for the program, it's crucial. As I mentioned before, it's been 3 whole matches since Lynchburg scored a goal against Washington and Lee. They played 3 times in 2019. They did not score a single goal against the Generals in those 3 matches. They gave up 5 in the process. Just something about this Generals team. They bring their best against Lynchburg no matter what. We saw it last night against number 3 Lynchburg in men's lacrosse. Just a 3-2 record for Washington and Lee coming in, and they end up defeating Lynchburg for the 8th time in 9 tries. Sometimes teams have your number for a few years. Lynchburg hoping that that trend can change today. Unfortunately, they may have an issue with one of their defenders, Nick Foley. Slow to get up, favoring that left knee. Seems to be okay.
Let's go, Nick. Keep it up. We good.
Still arguing that there should have been a more serious call. In fact, there was no foul called. I think they just stopped play because of Foley's potential injury, but Lynchburg still has a free kick, so that would lead me to believe there is a foul, as Mackey puts it in the box. Seth Dale tries to chest it to himself, being pressured from Behringer. Now Wharton takes it, and it will go back to the Generals on this throw.
We don't need your help. Thank you very much. On it.
The head official getting involved with the peanut gallery, which is always, in my opinion, a very interesting move to even acknowledge that people are talking badly about your calls or lack of calls. As McCarty continues to pressure and chips one on that Gallagher holds. Under 1 minute to go, keeping it 3-1. And once again, Grant McCarty making it tough on this Lynchburg defense. Gallagher able to haul in his third save of the afternoon. And Lynchburg has one more chance with 30 seconds to go to pressure this Generals defense and maybe turn this into a 1-goal deficit heading into halftime. Once again, it's Ben Mackey who sent more of a rainbow shot last time. Here it's a little bit lower, so it sinks farther in. And McCarty is here and then eventually booted away by Pinkerton. And that is going to end the first half of play. The Generals with 3 unanswered, and then Carter Averett made it 3-1 after 45 minutes. That is where we stand on LHSN.
Everyone has a story, a triumph, a time they fell short, a gift, a light all their own. Every story has a beginning. For us, our stories began long before we got here, at the moment we discovered we had something to share with the world. But no matter where we've been, our journeys weave together at the University of Lynchburg. Since 1903, we've grown from a handful of students to a diverse, dynamic community of students, professors, staff, and alumni around the world. In a community that supports who we are and who we want to be, we're on a journey to find where our passions lead so we can lead others to find theirs. Together, we have more experience, we have more knowledge than we do alone. Eventually, our stories will lead us to a path all our own, and we will share our passions with the world. No matter the journey we choose, the University of Lynchburg is, and always will be, our home.
Here's to life and here's to Lynchburg, to the years we spent together. I don't know when or how we gathered, but I know I'm home. So here's to love and here's to the heartache, all the laughter, every mistake. I don't know how our lives will be changed, but here I'm home. Here I'm home.
Thomas Gibson Hobbs graduated from Virginia Christian College in 1904 as a member of its first graduating class. After earning a law degree from the University of Virginia, he settled in Lynchburg and began a highly successful career as an attorney. In January of 1915, he was invited to attend a meeting of the College Board of Trustees, during which the possibility of closing the college due to financial concerns was to be considered. Mr. Hobbs spoke eloquently of the need to fight for the college's existence, and the board decided to continue operating the institution. He was asked to serve on the board at that meeting and served as the chairman of the Board of Trustees from 1918 until his tragic death in 1942. Mr. Hobbs was a guiding light as the college changed its name to Lynchburg College and moved toward becoming an accredited liberal arts institution. His relationships with the economic power structure of the city played a critical role as the young college struggled financially through the depths of the Great Depression. His belief in Josephus Hopwood's vision of the college never wavered, as reflected in his message to the student body in the late 1930s. Lynchburg College, with continued wise leadership, is just on the threshold of development into an institution which will, in still larger measure, build sound leadership in church and school and state, a leadership which will look for its reward in the consciousness of service rendered and a task well done. Upon his death in 1942, the Board of Trustees unanimously adopted a resolution of appreciation which named Mr. Hobbs as, quote, the college's greatest leader, unquote.
At Lynchburg, we don't fear change. We embrace it. In our students, on our campus, in our community, and around the world. We're building on our legacy of always moving forward. It's the same place, with a new name. Welcome to the University of Lynchburg.
It's halftime here at Schellenberger Field on the campus of University of Lynchburg, where the Generals lead the Hornets 3-1. More to come next on LHSN.
John Eccles joined the Lynchburg College community in 1986 as Director of Housing. As his famous beard grew, so too did his stature with the students he served on a daily basis. He seemed to be everywhere and rapidly became an integral part of campus life. He was asked to serve temporarily as Dean of Students in 1993 and soon earned the position on a permanent basis. In 2007, he became Vice President for Student Development, a position he held until his retirement in 2016. Simply put, John Eccles set the standard for student affairs professionals. He led the growth of Hornet Pride throughout the last 2 decades of his service through his direct and constant interaction with students, through his colorful sense of humor, through his visibility on campus, through the Red Chairs, the Red Chair blogs, and all the colorful emails to students. He created the annual Leadership Awards ceremony. In addition, John contributed his sense of humor, his calm demeanor, and his common sense approach to the leadership of the college at the highest levels of administration. He even donned a hard hat and work boots to supervise the construction of the Drysdale Student Center. His summer talks to new students, although wrapped in humor, were serious as he spoke his mantra, involvement is not an option, it is an expectation. He lived that ideal through his own involvement in student life, as the head cheerleader at Hornet Athletic Contests, and as a friendly and approachable face for generations of students. His legacy is a treasure for the students whose lives he impacted and a challenge for the entire university community to emulate.
Beautiful day here in Lynchburg, Virginia. Some alumni back with their pets, and I'm not talking about their friends. I'm talking about their actual dog that you just saw there a moment ago. Sydney Frank, we got Kayla Hugate, T.C. Thacker's in there. Of course, Connor Schroeder is away with the dog now. It's halftime here, and the Hornets are trailing 3-1. Let's take a look at some halftime stats, and there you see WNL out shooting the Hornets and more on target with those shots. Kyle Gallagher with 3 saves to this point. Also, the Generals with more corner opportunities. And Lynchburg, more fouls than they would like to have, but they have a little bit of momentum back after scoring late with that Carter Averett goal. It's 3-1 after 45 minutes. In case you missed any of the first half, stick around. We'll be back with highlights of that and more on LHSN.
My name is Taylor Clark, and I graduated in the spring of 2019, and I was a math major, and I'm currently a processing and packaging supply chain leader at Frito-Lay here in Lynchburg. As a math major, I loved every single second being in the classroom. I would fight for those professors, my classmates. I learned and grew as a person being in that class and challenging myself more than I would have ever thought I could. A big part of my job is root cause analysis and being able to look at a problem and figure out why did this happen and how can we make sure that this doesn't happen again. So as a math major, you learn that you need to have fundamental truths before you make any other statement, make any other assumption. The reason why I chose Lynchburg, and it's the general consensus on campus, is the relationship you get to build with your professors. And that sense of community that you get where you and your peers all understand and know that the people who are trying to push me to be better also will support me through it all.
Carrie Brewer became the 7th president of Lynchburg College in 1964, only 15 years after his graduation in 1949. During those intervening years, he had earned a PhD in public policy from Harvard, served as an aide to 2 major congressional committees, and was the director of emergency preparedness in the Kennedy administration. Returning to his alma mater, he hit the ground running. Dr. Brewer initiated a change in the college charter to allow students of all races to enroll. He cut the standard faculty teaching load by 20%. He improved faculty and staff salaries and increased the size of the faculty and the student body. He sought to raise the visibility of the college in Lynchburg as well as the larger community by offering graduate programs in education, business, and physics to meet identified needs in Central Virginia. An enthusiastic fan of LC sports, Dr. Brewer added administrative support to the college's athletic programs, resulting in the emergence of Lynchburg College as a national athletic power. During his presidency, Snido Chapel, the courts, McWayne, Tate, and Montgomery residence halls, the Burton Student Center, Turner Gymnasium, Wakefield House, Foxfield, the Dillard Fine Arts Building, the Capron Library, and the residences on Faculty Drive were added to the college physical plan. Also, Memorial Gymnasium was transformed into Hall Campus Center. Carnegie Hall was converted into faculty offices, and the surviving World War II Quonset hut was remodeled into the Psychology Building. However, perhaps the greatest legacy left Lynchburg College by Carrie Brewer is the attitude embedded in his oft-repeated statement that a great college is always in the process of becoming. In the decades since he retired, Lynchburg College has become a university and has continued to grow and change, moving ever closer towards becoming the institution envisioned by a 36-year-old neophyte college president over half a century ago.
A lot of people go to the universities to find something to be a part of while getting their education. And when you come here, Lynchburg is that something, it becomes a family. It's what this school's really good at doing.
There is a look at our future home for LHSN, the Game Day Operations Center, the former pavilion, which The skeleton's still there, but now you can see some temporary windows and walls are up. I was in there yesterday when it was very blustery and cold on the field, but no wind inside. The sun was beating through, and I was sweating in there working a little bit of the field hockey match last night. But in about 2 weeks' time, we'll be in there, and the video board will be fully functional, and the venue here at Schellenberger Field will improve by that much more. It's halftime between the Generals and the Hornets of men's soccer, and in case you missed anything in the first half, well, let's show you some of that first half action. And it started with the bang. The first goal of the day, Adrian Zimmerman one-on-one, just beating Seth Dale and Kyle Gallagher for that one to make it 1-0 in the first. And then check out this one. The toss comes from Charlie Colby, and it works its way into Harris Salem. What a bicycle kick pass, not for an actual goal. And it is a goal for the Generals. And then once again, Colby is involved on a free kick this time. Crosser, there is a perfect pass to Mr. Tyler Smith, the defenseman from Alexandria, Virginia. But the Hornets did have a late charge. Carter Averett shot, rebound, gets it back, and puts it in for his second goal of the season. That made it 3-1 at the break, and that is where we are now. The Hornets looking for their first win over the Generals since 2017, the ODAC tournament that year, where they were victorious 2-1. Last time these two teams met, it was for the ODAC championship at Hampton-Sydney, and the Generals took care of business that day 1-0. The Generals are your back-to-back defending ODAC champions as well. And right now they're in the driver's seat to being at least the 2 seed. Hampton-Sydney, the 1 seed, 7-0. Their season is complete, so they have completed an undefeated season in the ODAC and the whole season overall. They did not play any non-conference teams, so they are the number 1 seed. And if Lynchburg can pull off the comeback, then we'll have a good fight as far as figuring out the tiebreaker sequences for second place. But either way, these two teams will be hosting on Tuesday in the ODAC quarterfinals. And then, of course, the semifinals and the finals, that'll be determined. The host sites will be determined based on the previous results. So we will have at least one more match here on Schellenberger Field coming up on Tuesday. I did take a look at the ODAC men's soccer scoreboard for today. Just 2 other matches today. 3:30, Shenandoah takes on the Quakers of Guilford College. And then at 5 o'clock tonight, it's Roanoke at Emory and Henry. Right now, none of those teams, barring Guilford and Roanoke, are in the top 8. So Emory and Henry and Roanoke are out. Emory and Henry and Shenandoah are outside the top 8. The top 8 teams are the only ones that make it to the ODAC tournament, as right away the Generals are putting pressure on this Lynchburg defense. You know that they are aware that if they allow Lynchburg to score another, even though the Hornets will be trailing, they will have all the momentum needed to feel like they can pull off the comeback. So, of course, Washington and Lee is not going to sit back on this 3-1 advantage. They want to extend it back to a 3-goal lead. And right now, perfect passing leading to a crosser opportunity. No, Gallagher got in the way, but still, here's a chip as that one sails across the goal line, the goal-mouth area. Eventually, Salem will get it back to Colby. But how about the excellent passing? There's no way for us to have enough people and figure out what those stats are as they would be maybe on NBC Sports when you're watching the Premier League. But passing efficiency, the percentages, has got to be super high for Washington and Lee. Ball still played inside the box. Now ripping one is Recchi, and it's a header that Gallagher holds on to just outside the goal line. I do want to make a quick, I can't remember the right word, but basically say that I was wrong a moment ago about Hampton-Sydney. They do have one more match tomorrow, 6 o'clock against Bridgewater. So they could fall to a 7-1 perhaps to end the year, but the thing that'll be interesting is I'm not sure what the point situation is. Say Washington and Lee win today, and their season is over today. They're 5-0-1. If Sydney was 7-0-1, you know, I guess WNL would be second. In fact, they just didn't play as many games as Hampton-Sydney, which kind of seems unfair, but, you know, it is what it is. They played 8, and Washington and Lee will have played 6. So it is what it is. But more importantly, after tomorrow, so tomorrow night, Monday morning, first thing, check out odaconline.com, and that's where you'll find the tournament seedings and pairings for the quarterfinal round, which again begins on April 6th. That is Tuesday, as we fly through the spring semester. Just about 1 month remaining in school for college students, which is really good, actually, when you think about how things were so unknown in the fall and not knowing how things would play out here in the spring. And things have only gotten better as vaccines have been administered. And even here on this campus, athletes have been able to get vaccines recently, as well as other students on campus. For most staff members, we've had the opportunity to get both of our shots. In fact, the majority of the athletic department got their second Pfizer vaccine yesterday. I was one of those, and still recovering from the aches that come from the side effects of that shot. Some colleagues, unfortunately, had flu-like symptoms with the cold chills and fevers, waking up, sweating. All that temporary pain and anguish is certainly warranted when you think about the long-term picture of being immune from COVID-19. Good time for the crowd mic to be turned back on. That was my fault. I will admit it. Long ball sent forward and then kicked away like Antonio Brown kicked that Cleveland Browns punter one time from Joey Daly. Max Bourne knows what I mean. Our director, who's a Browns fan. You saw it, didn't you? You would agree? Yeah. Max agrees. Max agrees with that assessment of how Joey Daly kicked that ball. Spikes up. Throw in here for the Hornets and a glorified corner opportunity for Bailey Kearns if he can get that ball inside the 6 area. Looking for the tall leap of Nick Foley, perhaps. Foley making it tough on Nick, but Nick holds on and looks for a quick outlet. And Zimmerman breaking away from the defense. Joey Daly trying to catch up and just gets there in time. Excellent speed from Joey Daly. It's going to be a corner for the Generals, but you've got to be happy if you're a Hornets fan that 32 in red got there first. Otherwise, it would be a great opportunity for Adrian Zimmerman to pick up his second goal. Look at it again. Daly on a dead sprint. And thinking about Ed Smith and scout programs, making him a faster player. Low end swinger that's headed away by Daly. Salem picks it up and chips it forward. Chased down by Peterson. Rollins plays it into Peterson. Pinballs around and finds its way to Shalita. Kearns battling with Rollins. And that'll be a throw for the Generals. Ball played to the corner. Cutson Zero was there, so was Seth Dale, and it turns into a goal kick. Good work by number 2 in red. Not touching that ball before it went across the end line.
Drive. Talk to him.
Foley calling for it, but Daly made the play. You heard the from Nick Foley there. In the end, though, Lynchburg will have possession.
Here we go, boys. Let's get one. Up him. Move it, Bailey.
Kearns with a good turn, but just not able to find a teammate. Gallagher way out of the goalkeeper position and lost touch. Four saves so far for Kyle Gallagher. Generals with 15 total shots, 7 of them have been on target. Salem thought about the quick toss, but instead it's going to be the long arms of Charlie Colby, sophomore from Prairie Village, Kansas. Gallagher misses the punch, and it was last touch, though, by the Generals. And so Gallagher will be able to kick this one away without any pressure from Washington and Lee. W&L with the best hometowns that we get to talk about all year long, usually talking about players from North Carolina and Virginia, but Kansas, Texas, California, Pennsylvania, Florida, Georgia, all represented by this General squad. Not to mention Kutsanzira from Zimbabwe.
Come on. Good, time on. Come on. Bailey. Play him. No, Monty's right here. Luke, keep coming. Go switch. Watch on.
Once again, trying to go deep to Zimmerman.
Good, Adrian, touch, left, back up.
That's the voice of Recchi that you hear talking to
Good run.
Zimmerman,
Hey, two here.
letting him know he was playing back and on the trail.
You can hold it up and just play right to the 10 and run the end behind. They're facing the field, you know? You're doing a good job holding it. Good time. Turn!
Kutsanzira plays it forward. Here's Bass with a shot, and Gallagher holds on down low. As the Generals continue to mount the pressure just kicking balls aimlessly, but kicking them with purpose and knowing where they want to go with it and getting there and getting good chances. Mega looking for that chip over the heads of everyone, trying to find Robles. This is where things get dangerous, though, and so many Hornets push forward. The Generals have done a good job of countering after the fact, going deep and looking for Zimmerman on the run. That's exactly how it worked out on that first goal. Kutsinzira with the steal and then just send it deep for a one-on-one matchup that Adrian Zimmerman was able to connect for his third goal of the season on. If we think back a few weeks ago to a home match here with Hampton-Sydney, it was a 1-0 win for the Tigers in very similar fashion as Mackey fires one hard that Nick scoops into his chest and looks for a quick outlet. But that Hampton-Sydney goal that they scored, Lynchburg had a lot of people forward and they were a little bit lazy getting back on defense, and it gave the Tigers a good chance to respond quickly on the other end, and not only did they score, they held on for that 1-0 win and keeping their undefeated record intact as they try to be the host #1 seed for the second straight season. With their last match tomorrow, it's the last regular season match of the ODAC season. Mega working against Recky. Quick toss from Recky. Peterson looking for that angle to cross, plays it back to a trailing Recky. He'll go down the 18-yard line, but Mega got in the way. If he connected with Kutsinzira, you got to be expecting a one-timer. Gallagher would be tested on instead. Mega doing a great job of getting in the way of it.
Switch it.
Shalita falls down. The turf monster reaches up, trips him up a little bit. But Lynchburg still has possession and a chance to maybe work it up through this side. Mega with room to turn. Takes care of that. Puts back to his left foot. Shoots it low and reaching out with one hand. A glove stop from Nick. That's the impressive ability of Luke Mega. Didn't seem like he had enough space to really put that much on the ball, but made it tough for Michael Nick. Nonetheless, look at it, just keeping it low. Nick had no choice but to sprawl out. And the junior from Killdeer, Illinois, makes his third save of the afternoon and keeps it a 2-goal lead for the visitors with 29 minutes remaining in regulation. Time will be becoming a factor for the Hornets as they continue to struggle with consistent pressure offensively, whereas the Generals, well, they've been doing a lot of this. Creating good chances. Unfortunately, Zimmerman went down. Foley goes down too. Less whistles already than we had in the first half, but then Shalita, who's been a constant member of the foul club. The official not blowing the whistle on Foley going down, so of course Foley was upset at the fact that there is a whistle here on this play. Sometimes you wonder if those first half warnings are a part of the referee's decision to blow the whistle on you because they just see that it's you, the same person that had issues in the first half. Either way, it's a run here. Kearns got it over the keeper, who took down Kearns in the process, and that is going to make the Lynchburg staff and players livid for what took place. And the official is chatting with the goalkeeper right now, Michael Nick. Let's look at it again. Bailey just being tripped up a very hard way by the goalkeeper. Kearns is able to get up under his own power. And we'll see what the deliberation entails at the end of it all. I haven't seen a card given, but there might be a free kick outside the 18. Looks like Mega is there, expecting that. And so the head official is jogging over. I think he'll be talking to Coach Yeager.
Washington and lead number 1, Michael Nick.
Nick was given a yellow card. That's the first yellow card today for the Generals. That is their 6th of the season. And it gives Lynchburg a really good free kick position. Just about 20, 21 yards away. Mega and Daly standing around the ball. Daly. It's going to be Mega going high and too high over top the crossbar into the back of the warning net.
Number 18, Brennan Lagana.
Lynchburg will make a change. Brennan Lagana is back in. He spent some time out there in the first half as a substitute. And as he steps in, Bailey Kearns steps off. And a chance gone by for the Hornets that will allow for Nick to kick it away and for the Generals to feel even more superior with the time remaining and their lead. Lagana rolls it back for Averett. Nick Foley, one of the 2 captains for Lynchburg, him and Ben Mackey, and Foley doing what he could. Just could not thread the needle enough to get to Daly, but then dispossessed, and Mega will put a shot on. Probably going to see more of those early shots from Lynchburg as they desperately try to make it a 1-goal game. However, Devil's Advocate would say there's still plenty of time left, so try to slowly build from the middle out and back in. Hard to do that in the moment when the ball is on your foot and glory is staring you in the face. You want to go out there and grab it. Ben Mackey on your screen. One of the 5 seniors honored today on Senior Day. That one skates through and finds its way to the feet of Mega. 1-on-1, Mega working against Samuel Bass. Now Lynchburg pushed all the way back to the midfield line. Averett will connect with Mackey. Ben Mackey not able to get it over the head of Jack Rollins. Such an advantage for this General squad at back line featuring Rollins at 6'2", You also have Charlie Colby at 6'3", to go along with Seth Chapman at 6'3". Just hard to get those lobs over the top of those heads because they're already standing so high up, and then, of course, the vertical gets them even closer to touching the sky. Mackey pushed down by Tyler Smith, who does not agree with the whistle. 7th foul for Generals. Lynchburg has 11. Look at it again. Yeah, a little bit of a shove there. If you feel anything touching your back, you got to go down. Foley to Shalita, now Mega. Mega takes the rebound himself. Has some help on the outside, gets to Joey Daly, crosses it right back inside. A bad deflection and a chance here for Robles. He could not get to his shooting spot, and then he's taken down inside the box. Now it's Shalita with a chance. It deflects and will go wide, and in the end, a goal kick for Nick. Coach Yeager, happy man, with no call being made here. Check it out again. Robles inside, and Robles stepped in front of and goes down. Nothing too bad in that moment. But we've seen whistles, heard whistles, and seen calls made for less, for sure. Good win by Ben Mackey against the taller Tyler Smith. One touch, looking for Cutzenzera, who breaks away by himself. Cutzenzera along the end line, a rebound opportunity here, and it bounces into the hands of Gallagher. But how about that initial chance? Two Generals so close. They had a wide open goal mouth to shoot at, Bass and Zimmerman, but neither able to make a connection. I mean, you barely had to touch that with your toe, and it would have gone across the goal line. Instead, it remains 3-1. Lynchburg tries for a quick counter. Mega working against Recchi. Turns himself back near the corner, then uses his right foot to cross it here. And Robles also very close to making contact in an open area of the goal, just as the Generals did a few seconds ago. Here's Lynchburg with a great chance. Mega, excellent work to get to his right foot. And Robles just missing connection. Have to wait a little bit longer for his train. Unfortunately, some people may not know what that means. Some of our younger folk who have never taken a train. It would apply to airplanes as well. Connecting flights. Miss your connection, you're going to have to wait until the next one. No one around the ball, so gladly John Peterson will put it back in the feet of Jack Rollins. Another long pass off the chest of Salem. Out of play. Catch made by Mark Robertson. Under 20 minutes to play now. The Generals in control, 3-1 in this match, the final day of the season for both teams before the ODAC tournament begins on Tuesday. Looking for an angled across here is Peterson. Daly got in the way of it, and it's a goal kick for Lynchburg as each team makes some changes to their lineup. 3 changes for the Generals.
Number 29, Hayden Beering.
It's going to be Harry Pinkerton, Hayden Beering, and Grant McCarty for the Generals. Lynchburg will make 1 change. Saeed Usman steps back in for the Hornets. As looks like I was trying to see who may have stepped out for the Hornets. I think it's, well, no. Unfortunately, I'm not sure. Either way, Usman is out there with Shalita and Lagana playing up front. Mega with a good pass for Mackey. Pinkerton chases him down. Mackey goes all the way across. Shalita is going to have to be on his high horse here to pick it up. Can he keep it in play? No. It's Generals having the throw. Robles, by the way, Kenny Robles was the Hornet that was subbed in for. Washington and Lee out shooting Lynchburg 18-8 overall. 3 saves for Michael Nick, 6 saves for Kyle Gallagher. The Hornets with 4 shots on goal. The Generals halving 50% of their 18 shots have been on target. Very tough to defeat a team who is that accurate with their shot opportunities. Lynchburg has continued to play tough, and they have another throw here that could turn into a good chance. As it rolls back, Mackey and Usman around it, and it's played outside. Pinkerton reaching out, could not make a good connection on it, so it's Usman playing it inside the corner. Saeed Usman, one-on-one. Lots of fancy footwork for a turnover.
It's up there. It's up there. It's up there. It's up past that. Hey, how far? Pass it, yep. Even with you. Thank you. Keep going, keep going. You up with me if you like. Come on, come on. Fight, Saeed!
Daly had a toss that was kicked away by Rollins. Meanwhile, Seth Dale dispossessing Hayden Beering. Usman tried to heel it back for Lagana. Unfortunately, Colby was in the way the whole time and made it tough on Lynchburg, but they will have a throw. And Bailey Kearns will step back in.
Back in the match for your Hornets, number 19, Bailey Kearns.
Last time we saw Kearns, he was wincing in pain after being taken out by Michael Nick, who subsequently earned a yellow card. Kearns with a high toss. Headed away by Tyler Smith, who got in there before Nick Foley could make contact. Daly surveys the land before he kicks it away off that long punt. It's Pinkerton with the possession, though. Auger and Kutsinzira working along midfield. Kutsinzira down now. Again, Josh Auger just boxing out Kutsinzira. Auger, right idea, just a bit off on the target, looking for Daly in the corner. Saw Carter Avert there for a moment on your screen. He has the lone goal for Lynchburg. As we get closer to the end of this one, we'll go back and show you some of the goals that have already been scored in case you missed them the first time or just want to see them again. Good way to recap what has taken place. So far in the second half, it's been missed opportunities as Pinkerton and Foley come together. Those missed opportunities have been on the highlight reel for both teams. The Generals had 2 chances at a ball inside the 6, and then about 10 seconds later, Lynchburg's Kenny Robles missed as well. Ball continually staying in the air. Now it touches the turf. Gets played by Kutsinzira. Back for Colby. And then now it's Ben Mackey taking it away. And the Hornets will try to reset from the back line. Nick Foley using that inside foot to keep that ball away from Zimmerman. Not for long, though. Zimmerman has found himself around the ball often since that first goal of the match. Foley. Mackey. Nice header, but right in there was McCarty, seemingly knowing exactly what Mackey was going to try and do. Was the shadow of Mega in front of 7 in red. And there was no chance for Mega to make a play on it. Meanwhile, offside is called against Lynchburg, so that negates a possible offensive opportunity. As we are under 13 minutes to go, Joe Hutzler with you today. First of 2 games on the microphone, as tonight the Generals of men's lacrosse will come into Schellenberger Field and look for back-to-back wins over Lynchburg after winning last night in Lexington 12-10. The Hornets, number 3 in the country on the men's lacrosse side, seeking revenge as quickly as you can get it, just 24 hours later, and a place where they are undefeated this year, Schellenberger Field. That game will be on the Lacrosse Sports Network, but if you want to tune in, you can find the link at lynchburgsports.com. Foley got around 1, but not around 2. Nick Foley goes down. Grant McCarty is going to pick up the second yellow of the day for a Generals player.
Caution assessed to Washington and Lee, number 30, Grant McCarty.
McCarty has had a very good day, as most freshmen have, for Washington and Lee, which just makes opponents more nervous about the future if they want to take down the 2-time defending champs in the ODAC. Auger goes down, so did McCarty behind the play, but he's okay. Auger seems to be all right as well. Kenny Robles back in for the Hornets with less than 12 minutes to play.
Aiden, backside. Aiden, backside. Adrian.
That was Recchi with the vocals on the mic and the toss. 3 goals from the Generals from 3 different players. Adrian Zimmerman, along with Harris Salem and Tyler Smith, before Lynchburg responded with their first and only to this point. This one is stopped by Gallagher. Good boot from Grant McCarty. I hesitated to say who that goal for Lynchburg came from, because for us it looked like it was a rebound that was followed up by Carter Avery, but the stats say Monzi Shalita has the goal as Mega breaks around. The goalkeeper needs some help. No, he doesn't. Luke Mega from an impossible angle, short side, got around Nick and still found a way to curve that ball in across the goal line. Mega with his 6th of the season to lead all Hornets. Check it out again. Gets away from those fingertips of Nick and then past the defenders and in on a really sharp angle. No questioning who scored that one for Lynchburg. Mega with his 6th, and the Hornets have made it a 1-goal game with 10:19 remaining. Still plenty of time for Lynchburg to complete the comeback here. And now the Generals, who haven't really played on the back foot, they haven't tried to just coast to a 3-1 win. They have been pressuring. Now they'll want to pressure and connect. They haven't been able to do that here in the second half. A lot of good opportunities, but none that have really tested Gallagher to a point of breaking. Shalito wins the ball, looks ahead, has room on the outside, looking for Daly, who does keep it in play. Daly again looking for Bailey Kearns on the run, goes deep. Maybe it's Lagana instead. It's bounced off the head of Chapman. Mega finds it. And then Mega taken down by the much larger Charlie Colby. Good ball again, puts Mega out there one-on-one against Chapman. And wanted to find Kearns. Instead, it's Mackey at the 18. Here is Lagana. Pinballs its way inside. Lagana tries to chase it back down. And it's going to roll across the touchline as the tension picks up. The wave of momentum shifting to the Hornets here late in regulation. 9 minutes to play, down 1, trying to capitalize on the most recent goal scored by Luke Mega just about 60 seconds ago. Frustration from the captain, Nick Foley, on that wasted opportunity that went over everyone's head and out of play, allowing for Michael Nick to waste another 10-15 seconds before kicking this one away.
Come on, Brennan! Sorry. Hey, you're good. Don't shake your head. Come on. Okay. Be ready. Ben. Lindsay's there. Too far, dog. Okay. Coming in.
That was Nick Foley that he heard, playing on the defensive end, trying to call out positions for the midfield players to get in those passing lanes, helping them see what's behind them. Wharton had it inside the corner, but Lynchburg's defense, Carter Averett helping out. And a whistle for a foul as Wharton goes down. It'll be a free kick for the Generals right there. Looking at it one more time. Wharton going down. Robles, who was involved. #15th foul on Lynchburg as this one's sent low and no one in the way of it, so Gallagher can easily scoop it in. Gallagher has 4 saves in this half alone after 3 in the first half and 3 goals against. He has responded well, keeping the Generals at bay, while Lynchburg added another to make it a 3-2 game. Lagana chipping one in and nowhere to go for Mackey, so Wharton took control. Seth Dale, and the official gets in the way, blows the whistle on himself, and Lynchburg will have it right there where the bright highlighter shirt. Is it going to be a drop kick? Second time we've seen that this season. After my previous 5 seasons, not seeing one. Robles with the crosser that was too tall for Mega, who complained that he was being held. 5.5 to go. Foley gives it back to Mackey. The 2 captains connect as Mackey goes down this near sideline, and just too strong for Luke Mega to catch up to it. Michael Nick boots it away with less than 5 minutes to play in this 30th meeting of these 2 programs since 1999. W&L leads the series 12-10-6 in the previous 29 meetings. Lynchburg has the 2-1 advantage in the ODAC tournament in those years, but the Generals have held Lynchburg from a victory in the last 4 meetings. You have to go back to the 2017 ODAC tournament for the last true win for Lynchburg, as they've gone 0-2-2 since then, including losing all 3 matches in 2019. The good news is for them, well, a couple things, but when it comes to goals, 2 goals today is 2 more than they've scored in the previous 3 matches against the Generals. As Foley goes down again and pulling on that left foot. The official chatting with Ben Mackey about his complaints. And Nick Foley being told to head off the field. This is the second time that Foley has gone down. I don't know if that's why the official is putting Nick Foley off the turf. Maybe Nick is truly in pain and needs to be tended to by Bryce Wellen, the athletic trainer for men's soccer. But either way, it's Josh Auger coming in, Nick Foley stepping out.
Josh Auger.
And the official chatting with Coach Yeager with 3:43 to go. Talking things through here in what is basically the college version of extra time or a timeout. You don't get those in soccer, so there's no chance to yell at the official while there's a media timeout. This is your chance to voice your displeasure about something that may have happened 10 minutes ago. Recchi has it headed away by Robles. Lagana working against McCarty. And Lynchburg possession, as time is becoming a huge factor for this Lynchburg team. You have to believe they only have maybe 2, possibly 3 good chances remaining in the time that's left on the board. If and when those opportunities do present themselves, they must take advantage and test Michael Nick one more time. The Generals held scoreless here in the second half after scoring 3 in the first 20 minutes. Would love to add one more here and put the nail in the coffin of their Cross Mountain rival. Auger had some help, but just didn't have a good passing lane. Pinkerton was in the way. And it ended up being a easy clear away from harm by Recchi. 2.5 minutes to go. Good ball, one touch by Daly, connects with Ben Mackey. Ben Mackey on a dead sprint just outside the 18, and his crosser is stamped away by Tyler Smith, who has had an excellent game on defense. He was rewarded with a goal earlier today, and right there made a huge play, not allowing for Lynchburg to cross it in and make a chance happen inside the box. And less than 2 minutes to go, that whistle blows for a quick substitution. Josh Auger will stay in. Monzi Shalita will step out as Nick Foley returns. 1:49 to go. One of the last chances here for the Hornets. It's a throw from Lagana over the head of Robles. Bounces up and near the cage, but Nick will chase it down and stay in play and be able to hold on and kill more time. Not much, though. He quickly outlets it ahead to Grant McCarty. And then McCarty goes deep. Gallagher's here. He'll look to exchange with a teammate in punting fashion. This one heads high in the sky of Lynchburg, Virginia. Lands back down and then kicked away by Colby. A tight battle here in the midfield area with 60 seconds to play. What has been a very gritty game for Lynchburg. Unfortunately for them, they gave up those 3 goals, a couple that they'll certainly regret in more ways than one. They'll stick with them as they prepare for the ODACs on Tuesday. Very frustrating if they are not able to pull off the comeback and tie this thing up and go to extras, knowing how much better they played in the latter half of the first half and all of the second half for sure. If they can pull that together for a full 90 minutes, they could be a huge threat for whoever they face in the ODAC tournament. But today, it was the Generals jumping out to that 3-0 lead that really made it tough for the Hornets to stay consistent.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5.
And let their game plan do the talking for them for a victory. As the Generals come into Schellenberger Field and remain unbeaten on the year with a 3-2 win. They are now 6-0-1. Lynchburg drops to 5-3-1 heading into the ODAC tournament that starts on Tuesday afternoon. Tough result for Lynchburg, knowing how much better they played, but in the end, the Generals just too much. And they win yet again. Lynchburg still looking for that first victory over the Generals since 2017. It might come in the ODAC tournament. Who knows? Stay tuned to ODAConline.com for seedings and pairings of Tuesday's quarterfinals. And, of course, stay there all week for the results of every game throughout the tournament. As long as Lynchburg's in it, LHSN will be involved. You can check everything out at lynchburgsports.com. Big thank you to you and yours for watching today. We hope you enjoyed it. As we leave you with some highlights, we say so long from Lynchburg, Virginia. The Generals are victorious 3-2